Now come the special qualities that Bhagavan Shankaracharya explains in the coming verses. So let us read first. Let us read verse number 17. Please repeat. Vivekino viraktasya shamadigunaशालिनः mumukshoreva hi brahma jidnyasa yogyata mata is one word. Brahma jidnyasa yogyata is one word. For the sake of teaching the chanting, I broke after Brahma. Mumukshoreva hi Brahma jidnyasa, that is for teaching the chanting. Actually, it should be chanted together. Mumukshoreva hi Brahma jidnyasa yogyata mata. Just like the first verse. First verse we are chanting, no? Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam. Should not break. Similarly here also. Now what is he saying? Brahma Jidnyasa Yogyata. Yogyata, capability. Capability of what? Brahma Jidnyasa. Jidnyasa. Jidnyasa means desire to know. Desire to know. Jidnyasa, Jnatum Ichha. Desire to know what? Brahman. My own self. My own real nature. Brahma Jidnyasa Yogyata. Capability to have this desire for knowing Brahman, Mata is considered for a person who has first four things. What are the first four things? Vivekinaha, for a person who has Viveka. Viraktasya, for a person who is Virakta, who has Vairagya. Shamadhi guna shalinaha, for one who has qualities enumerated as Shama, etc. And fourth, Mumukshoho, for a person who has desire for liberation, for one who is Mumukshu. I know while explaining the meaning, I have used many Sanskrit words. And some people are already looking at me, what kind of explanation is this? Vivekina means one who has what? Viveka. But what is the meaning of Viveka? That you didn't tell. Why should I tell? Shankaracharya is going to tell that. So that time we will see. Now the point is what? One who has Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutva. One who has got these four qualities is a eligible aspirant, eligible student for Vedanta. Don't worry about writing these four qualities also, name of the quality. He will explain that also. He will tell Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shat Sampatti, Mumukshutva. He will mention, he will enumerate that also for us. Right now he is telling what? One who has got these qualities, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shat Sampatti and Mumukshutva, is an eligible student of Vedanta. That's what he is saying. Now, before we understand what are these qualities, Shankaracharya gives importance of gaining these qualities. That is verse number 18. Let us see. See the verse number 17, you understood all the words. Vivekinaha, for the one who has Viveka. Viraktasya, for a person who is Virakta, who has Vairagya. Shamadhi guna shalinaha, for a person who has got qualities enumerated as Shama, etc. Mumukshoho, for a person who is Mumukshu. For such a person alone, Mata is considered what? Brahma Jidnyasa Yogyata. Capacity or capability to have desire to know Brahman. Means what? Only a person with these qualities should pursue the desire to know Brahman. Now let us go to the next verse where he explains what exactly is the importance of gaining this qualification. It's called as Sadhana Chatushtaya. Sadhana, the means. Chatushtaya, fourfold. The fourfold means. Let us see. Shankaracharya says, please repeat. Sadhananyatra chatvari kathitani manishibhihi yeshu satsveva sannishtha yadabhavena siddhyati. Important verse, you can mark. What is Shankaracharya saying? Atra, sadhanani atra, atra here. Here means here in this topic, asmin vishaya, in this context, Chatwari sadhanani, Chatwari 4. Sadhanani means in this context where a student is approaching a teacher to gain knowledge of Vedanta, in this context, 4 means, 4 sadhanas, kathitani, are spoken of. By whom? Manishibhihi, by the wise people, by the Purva Acharyas, by the teachers of the yore, by the past teachers. 4 qualities, 4 means are spoken of as eligibility criteria. Okay? Sadhanani atra chatvari, manishibhi kathitani. 4 means are spoken of here in this context by the wise. And what is the point? Very beautiful second line. He says, Yeshu satsu eva sannishtha yat abhave na siddhyati. Very beautiful. Let us understand each. Yeshu satsu. So here what is said, Yeshu satsu. When these are sat, these are there. Yeshu means these. These means these qualities. Hey, Yeshu doesn't mean Jesus or anything, okay? Yeshu satsu. When these are there, eva, then alone, sannishtha. Nishtha means abidance. Sat here means that self, existence. When these qualities are there, present in a person, then alone the person can abide in the self. Then alone there is abidance in the self. Yeshu satsu eva sannishtha. Only when these qualities are present in a person, that person can abide in the self. And to affirm this point, he gives the negative side of it and says, yad abhave. And when these qualities are abhava, not present, when in lack of these qualities, na siddhyati, the self is not attained. Realization, liberation is not attained, is not possible. Yeshu satsu eva, only when these qualities are present, one can abide in the self. Yad abhave, if these qualities are not present, na siddhyati, liberation is not possible. And therefore, Chatwari sadhanani kathitani, therefore, these 4 means are spoken of here that each seeker must imbibe. Only when these qualities are there, we can realize the self. When these qualities are not there, we cannot realize the self. You see, this is a spiritual science. This is the science which deals with the subject. That's why it is also called as subjective science. And what is the main difference between objective science and subjective science? Objective science means where I am trying to know something of the world. Physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, economics, politics, these are sciences of the world. Now remember, in such kind of knowledge, I need not have these qualities in me. Means what? A good mathematician need not be a good person. My subjective, what we can say as personality has nothing to do with the knowledge of the objective science. Isn't it? A historian need not have control over his senses. If I am studying a science that is an objective science that deals with the world, these inner qualities are not that essential. They are required to gain the knowledge. We will see that. But they don't become a must. But in subjective science, in this spiritual life, these qualities are of utmost importance. They are absolutely essential. You cannot say that I am a spiritual person. I am studying Vedanta, but I am not a good person. I am not a righteous person. It's not possible. Then you are not the student of Vedanta. Because this is subjective science. It has to bring a change in me. See, study of mathematics need not bring any change in me personally. My old habits, my old concepts can still remain, even if I am studying more and more mathematics. But that cannot happen with Vedanta. Because Vedanta is a subjective science. Now remember, if I don't pursue these qualities, then I may become a scholar of Vedanta. But I will never become a seeker of Vedanta. Understand the difference. See, I am not saying that all scholars of Vedanta don't have these qualities. That's not what I am saying. Scholar of Vedanta will have knowledge of Vedanta as you have knowledge of any other subject. But for that person to bring that knowledge into life, into experience, these qualities are absolutely must. Only then a person becomes seeker. We are here to become seekers. We are not here to become scholars. Please get this point straight. I know entire Bhagavad Gita by heart, but I have not picked even one point from the Bhagavad Gita to put it in my life. Then I can be a scholar of Gita. I cannot be seeker. Very famous anecdote of Puja Gurudev. One person went to Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji with his book Holy Gita and said, I have gone through Gita 18 times, because 18 it is a very important number. 18 chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita. No? So I have gone through Gita 18 times and I wanted your signature on the book. Gurudev, of course, master, he signed. But before signing, he wrote a message. He said, you have gone through Gita 18 times. Let Gita go through you once. See? I might have studied, I might have memorized the verses, but has it come in my life? Often we ask this question, people who are studying Vedanta for long time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, many times they ask question, Veji, we don't know whether we are progressing on spiritual path or not. Yes, we are studying different texts. Yes, we are attending number of classes. Yes, we are taking number of classes. But am I progressing? How do I know? What is the criteria? Just because I am studying so many new things, does it mean I am progressing? Just because my number of classes have increased, does it mean I am progressing? No. The only criteria can be, are these values, are these qualities come in my life? Have they come in my life? Is the knowledge that I am gaining translating into my experience? Then I can say that I am becoming a seeker, sadhaka. So for becoming a seeker, sadhaka, sadhana is what is required. And here, 4 sadhanas, the 4 means are given. Yeshu satsu eva sannishtha. When these are present, then alone sannishtha, abidance in the self is possible. Yad abhave na siddhyati. In their absence, it is impossible. It cannot be gained. That liberation is not possible. Very clear point Shankaracharya is making. Right? And this also gives us an understanding that these qualities, fourfold means that we will be studying, Viveka, Vairagya, etc., we need to have in little measure at least to start the study of Vedanta. But as these qualities in us grow, we start progressing on the spiritual path. And when these qualities are in full measure in a person, the person realizes. Yeshu satsu sannishtha. When these qualities are present, then alone abidance in the self is possible. So our job or our efforts are in two directions. One is in learning these concepts of Vedanta, and second, doing the sadhana and improving oneself so that what I am learning will come in my life. We are here to become seekers. Okay? And these are the qualities which are spoken of now. He says, Shankaracharya says, Kathitani Manishibhi. And these are not the qualities which I am telling you from my own brain. Shankaracharya is telling that, these four you must have. No, these are the things are spoken of by the Purva Acharyas, by the teachers of the yore. Kathitani Manishibhi, by the wise, these sadhanas are spoken of. So the fourfold qualification or fourfold means, Viveka, Vairagya, etc., we see that in the Upanishads. We have, Mundaka Upanishad, very famous mantra, which says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamaya nastikata kratayana tad vijnanartham sagurumeva abhigachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. The mantra which gives what quality student must have and should approach which kind of teacher and with what attitude. That's the mantra of this Mundaka Upanishad, which shows two qualities. Pariksha lokan karmachitan. Pariksha means analyzing the world. This is Viveka. Nirvedam ayat. Nirvedam means Vairagya. So the Upanishads are talking about it. Viveka, Vairagya. We have Shamadhi Shat Sampatti enumerated in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Shanto, Dantah, Uparatah, Titikshuhu, Samahito Bhutva, Atmani eva Atmanam Pashyati. Brihadaranyaka quotation. Which says, Shantaha, one who has got Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Samadhana, Shraddha. These, such a person alone sees the self within. We will see, don't get scared of what is the meaning of all these words. We are going to see that. Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dama, etc. All the definitions will come. Shankaracharya will explain all of them. But this is also we find in Upanishads. Even Mumukshutva is given as qualification in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It says, Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapatti. I am Mumukshu. I am a seeker of liberation. I have come to surrender. Unto you, O Guru, please give me knowledge. So these qualifications which we are studying now as Sadhana Chatushtaya are not the qualifications which are introduced by Shankaracharya. They are there in the scriptures. They are spoken of by the great teachers before Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya is only presenting them in a way that all of us can understand. Therefore, he says, Sadhanani atra chatvari kathitani manishibhi yeshu satsu eva sannishta yad abhave na siddhyati. When these qualities are there, abidance in the self is possible. Yad abhave, in their absence, na siddhyati, it is not possible. Okay, what are these qualities? So the next verse gives the four qualities or fourfold means. Let us read verse number 19. Adau nitya vastu viveka pariganyate iha mutra phala bhoga viragastadanantaram shamadhi shatka sampattihi mumukshuttvamiti sphutam. He says, Adau, in the beginning, first. Adau, first. In the beginning what? Nitya, anitya, vastu, vivekaha, pariganyate. Pariganyate means is counted. So first quality that is counted is viveka. Viveka means discrimination, capacity to differentiate, capacity to distinguish. See, nowadays, this word discrimination is used in a very negative connotation. Discrimination. You are discriminating. But here in our scriptures, that word is not used like that. Because here we are not discriminating based on creed or color or religion, etc. That's not the topic going on. Here, what is discrimination about? The discrimination, the differentiation of what is real, nitya, what is permanent, and anitya vastu, and what is impermanent. So, differentiating or differentiation between permanent and impermanent. This is the first quality. This is the first. In Sadhana Chatushtaya, the first quality is what? Viveka. Tadanantaram. Then after that what? Vairagya is the second quality. It is mentioned as Iha. Iha means here. Amutra. Amutra means somewhere else. Phala bhoga. Phala bhoga means enjoyment of the result. Result of action. Viragaha. Detachment. Dispassion. So, detachment or dispassion towards the enjoyments of the results here or hereafter. Dispassion or detachment towards enjoyment of the results here or hereafter is called as second quality, Vairagya or Viraga. Viraga, Vairagya both mean same. Virakti, another word meaning the same. Okay. So, Viveka, first quality. Vairagya, second quality. Says Tadanantaram. After Viveka comes Vairagya. And Tadanantaram, that Tadanantaram also applies for the next. Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti. The next quality is what? Shama Adi. Adi means etc. Beginning with Shama. Shama means purity of mind. Sorry. Correct. Control of mind. Better word. Shama is control of mind. Etc. Shatka. Shatka means 6. Sampatti. Sampatti means wealth. The inner wealth. The 6-fold inner wealth. Beginning with Shama. Shankaracharya will tell which are the 6 qualities come under that. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Stitiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. It will come. Tadanantaram, that comes after Vairagya. And then what? Mumukshutvam iti. And then comes Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva means what? Burning desire for liberation. See, we have been hearing such terms. And earlier also we had explained this, no? Jidnyasa. Jnatumichha jidnyasa. This is called as desiderative. Desiderative means that word which shows desire. Jidnyasa, jnatumichha, desire to know. Pipasa, pipasa means thirst, desire to drink water. Bubuksha means hunger, desire to eat. Like that, mumuksha. Mumuksha means moktumichha, desire to liberate. To liberate oneself. So, mumukshutva, when you add tva or ta, these suffixes when you add, the word becomes an abstract noun. So, mumuksha, mumukshutva. Mumukshu. Mumukshu means what? A person who has that desire. In the previous verse it was said, no? Mumukshoho. In the previous to previous verse, in the verse number 17. Mumuksho hi brahma jidnyasa yogyata mata. So, mumukshu is a person who has that desire for liberation. Mumukshutva is that desire for liberation. Abstract now. Iti sputam. Iti means thus. Sputam means clearly, evidently explained. Means what? There is a fixed order also that is given. Not just that these are the 4 qualities, but this is the fixed order of those 4 qualities. Viveka, then Vairagya, then Shamadhi Shat Sampatti, and then Mumukshutva. Ability to distinguish between permanent and impermanent, ability to give up what is impermanent, ability to control the mind through 6-4 inner wealth, and the desire to gain liberation. These four are the qualities or the means that we must have. Sadhanani atra chatvari. These are the four qualities. Now Shankaracharya will take each one and will define. So now onwards you can see verse number 20th will tell us Viveka, 21st Vairagya, 22nd Shama, 23rd Dhamma and Uparama, etc. etc. He will continue. Let us see one verse. First quality let us see today. Okay. Viveka. Please repeat. Brahma satyam jagan mithyetyevam rupo vinishchayah soyam nitya nitya vastu viveka samudahritaha. He says, Brahma satyam. Brahman is real. Jagat mithya. The world is unreal. Iti. Thus, evam rupaha, of this nature, vinishchayaha, firm determination, firm understanding. What is the understanding? Firm understanding that Brahman alone is real and the world is unreal. This firm understanding, saha ayam, that is here called as nitya, anitya, vastu viveka. This phrase we have seen earlier. The ability to distinguish between nitya, permanent, anitya, impermanent. What is that ability? That ability is firm understanding that Brahman alone is real and the world, everything other than that Brahman, is unreal. This is called as Viveka. Samudaritaha. Samudaritaha, this is how Viveka is well defined. Samyak udaritaha. Viveka is well defined as this vinishchaya, this firm understanding that Brahman alone is satya, real. Jagat, world is mithya. Now, these two words satya and mithya need to be understood first. Satya we generally call it as truth. But when we are living in the world, very interestingly, we make this statement that there is nothing called as truth. Every single thing is a person's opinion. Have you come across such thing? That it is only your perspective, it is not truth. What exactly is the truth? We don't know. So we are not talking about the truth about the world, in the sense that really I went there and I did this, really I am speaking truth. We are not talking about that kind of truth. We are talking about the truth of everything. Truth of everything, the reality of everything. So in that context, when we are translating Satya as reality, not as truth, careful. We in Vedanta hear about 3 grades of reality. Sometimes they are called as Satta or called as Satya. 3 grades of reality. Let us understand those first. What are the 3 grades? The first level of reality is called as Pratibhasika Satya or Pratibhasika Satta. Pratibhasika Satta means what? Seeming reality. Pratibhasika Satya, seeming reality. Second level of reality, higher than it, is called as Vyavaharika Satya, transactional reality. Vyavaharika Satya, second level of reality. And third, the final level of reality is called as Paramarthika Satya. Paramarthika Satya, absolute reality. Okay. So 3 grades or levels of reality. What do you mean by 3 levels of reality? The first level will appear real only till the time I am in that level. The moment I reach level 2, you understand that the first level was not real. Then when we reach level 3, we understand the previous 2 were not real. Let us understand this. First level Pratibhasika Satya example is dream. When we are in dream, we think that the dream is real. Correct? Correct. Very real experiences. I am there and people are there and mountains are there and trees are there. Everything very real. It looks very real. But when you wake up, what happens to the dream? You say dream was unreal. How the reality status has changed? Because from the seeming reality, now you have woken to transactional reality, the waking state that we all are now, where we are transacting with each other. So, according to this level of reality, the transactional level of reality, the seeming reality is unreal. And this transactional reality is now real. You understand? Another example also is there. What we speak of illusion, delusion, etc., all that comes in seeming reality. Our famous example that we have seen, Shankaracharya explaining, rope misunderstood as snake. Now, when I am seeing that snake is on the seeming reality, whereas rope is transactional reality. According to the reality of the rope, snake is unreal. Are you getting this point? Seeming reality, transactional reality. Now, higher than transactional reality is absolute reality. And that absolute reality, there is no example for it. There is only one thing which is absolutely real, and that is Brahman. That's why you see the sentence Brahma Satyam. Brahman is the absolute reality. Now, from that standpoint, what will then happen to the transactional reality? It will become unreal. Now, that word unreal is how we are taking it as mithya. Careful. The world which is transactional reality is real when we are in that world, when we are on that level. When we wake up to the higher level of reality, which is absolute reality, the transactional reality, the world becomes unreal, becomes mithya. Again, these terms, mithya, etc., Shankaracharya himself will be explaining. We will see at that time. Right now, what we have to understand, mithya means something that doesn't have independent existence. Snake doesn't have independent existence, it is dependent on rope. So, rope is real, snake is unreal. Rope is satya, snake is mithya. Similarly, world doesn't have independent existence, it is dependent for its existence on that Brahman, and therefore Brahman is absolute real and world is unreal, mithya. Careful. This understanding, firm understanding that Brahman alone is real, everything other than it, the world, is unreal. This firm understanding is called as Viveka, which is a prerequisite to walk this path. Now remember, as I told you, if this Viveka is there in us even a little bit, we can start on the path. But then we have to keep, growing. We have to keep increasing this Viveka in order to reach the destination. Getting it? That is one. Now, this Viveka, when we speak of this capacity to distinguish, capacity to discriminate, differentiate, this is not new to us. It is not alien to us. We do that. We do every day, we are doing. Even at this moment, you are doing. Some of you are thinking, now it is almost reaching 6:15. Should I continue the class or should I go? I can always watch on YouTube later on. Now what happens? Now your mind has got two options. Should I stay or should I go? Then between these two, you choose anyone. Some of you choose to stay, some of you choose to go. What are you doing? You are doing Viveka. Between the two things, you are picking one thing. But this is worldly Viveka. Worldly Viveka means what? You are choosing between two impermanent things. Should I take this watch or that watch? Both are impermanent. Should I watch this movie or that movie? Should I wear this sari or that sari? Both are impermanent. Therefore, this discrimination capacity to distinguish that we use in the world, we know how to use discrimination. But in the worldly perspective, we are using this faculty only to distinguish between two impermanent things. Whereas, this Viveka that is spoken of here becomes a technical term which expresses an idea of discriminating the real Brahman from the unreal world. So, in the context of Vedanta, when we use the word Viveka, we are essentially talking about this discrimination. Discrimination of the reality from all that is unreal. Okay, that is what is Viveka we are talking about. Viveka is a technical term now. Now, some of you might have studied Tattvabodha, etc. There is a different definition of Viveka, not very different, it is similar to this, but there what Shankaracharya says, Nityavastu ekam Brahma, tad vyatiriktam sarvam anityam, ayameva nitya nityavastu Viveka. So, there he says, Nityavastu ekam. There is only one permanent reality and that is Brahman. Tad vyatiriktam, other than it, sarvam anityam, everything is impermanent. Now here if you carefully look, the definition is little stronger. He is not just, Shankaracharya is not just using the word permanent and impermanent, he is using the word real and unreal. There is a slight difference between impermanent and unreal. Understand? Let us take example, we'll understand the point. The tea made by my wife or by my mother is impermanent. But the tea made by my daughter when she is playing that game house, she prepares, no, in that small cup, she will come and she will say, Daddy. Now that tea is unreal. This tea is impermanent. That tea is unreal. You understand the difference? Because when my daughter is giving, the tea is not there. I have to imagine. And I have to play a part and say that, oh, it's very hot. And then she will also say, please, don't drink like that. You know, drink slowly. I have to play the part, but I know there is no tea. Whereas the tea given by my wife or given by my mother is there, but is not permanent. Is not going to stay all the time. It will get over. So in Tattvabodha, Shankaracharya says that the world is impermanent. World is there at the moment, but it is not going to stay forever. Whereas here, he says world is unreal. Even now, it is not really there, it is only appearing to be there. Why is he doing that? Because with such kind of understanding of the world, the next quality, Vairagya, will become easier. You have 2 cups of tea in your hand. One which is impermanent tea, one which is unreal tea. Which is the tea that you can easily give up? The unreal you can give up because it is not there. Whereas impermanent you will say, let me drink and then I will give up. You understand the difference? By saying that the world is not real, it becomes easy for us to give up. So to prepare us for Vairagya, he is defining Viveka in this way, in this particular place, in Viveka Chudamani. And therefore, I said that here the definition of Viveka is little higher than the definition of Viveka in Tattvabodha. Nityavastu ekam brahma tadvitiriktam sarvamanityam. Brahman is permanent, everything else is impermanent. Whereas here it is said, Brahman is real, world is unreal. Okay? This is the first quality of Viveka that we must possess. Now, homework for all of you. Not kind of homework where you have to write something. No. From today till the next session that we will have, keep your mind agile, ready to distinguish between is this real or unreal? Is this permanent or impermanent? Am I distinguishing between two impermanent things? Or am I distinguishing the permanent real thing from the impermanent unreal world? When the tea comes next time, whether it is given by your wife or your daughter, reflect whether it is real or unreal. We know it is impermanent, that we already know. Reflect whether it is real or unreal. Every single experience that you will be having, take a pause and reflect. Is this real or unreal? Okay, this is the homework. Till the time we meet again. Okay, then we will continue with Vairagya, Shama, etc. etc. The definitions that will follow. Let us go ahead and see the next quality. Vairagya, verse number 21. Tadvairagyam jihasaya darshana shravanadibhihi dehadi brahma paryante yanitte bhogavastuni. What is said? Shankaracharya says, Tatvairagyam. That is called as dispassion. Vairagya. Vairagya means viragasya bhavaha. Attitude of detachment. Vigata ragaha. Viragaha. Raga means attachment. Careful. Okay. Especially all the Maharashtrian people who understand Marathi. Special attention required. Raga in Sanskrit means attachment. In Marathi, raga means anger. This is exact opposite. Sanskrit, raga means like, attachment. Raga dvesha vishayana, like and dislike. So, raga means the feeling that it is nice, I want it. This is mine. This is called as raga. Anuraga, sometimes also used. So, vigata raga, where that feeling of attachment is not there, that is called as viraga. Now, that viragasya bhavaha, that state of detachment is called as vairagya. Vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion, state of detachment. Right? Tat vairagyam. What is that vairagya? Ya, that which is jihasa. Jihasa. Jihasa means what? Hatumichha jihasa. Desiderative. We have seen many words till now which are desideratives. Remember? Don't forget whatever we have seen in the previous classes. Bubhuksha, pipasa, mumuksha. Remember? All these are called as desideratives. Desideratives means the words that show desire. Jidnyasa, nyatumichha, the desire to know. Like here what is said, jihasa, hatumichha. Hatum means to give up. Ichha means desire. Desire to give up. Desire to give up is called as detachment. Carefully see. Desire to give up is called as detachment, he said. He said that feeling should be there that I want to give this up. And what that feeling should be there in what? Bhogavastuni. Bhogavastuni jihasa. Yeah. Bhogavastuni means in the objects, vastu, of bhoga, pleasure. in the pleasurable objects which give me temporary kick, temporary pleasure, in all those objects, desire to give them up is called as detachment or dispassion. Why should I give? Why should I give up the? Why should I give up those things? Why? Because anitya. That he anitya becomes yanitya. You see, second last word, yanitya bhogavastuni is written. Yanitya means he. He means indeed. Anitya. Anitya means that which is not nitya, that which is not permanent. Those bhogavastus, those pleasurable objects are not permanent, and therefore I should give them up. How do you know that it is not permanent? Go one step back. Viveka. And therefore Vairagya comes after Viveka. In Viveka, I come to understand that Brahman alone is real, everything else is unreal, impermanent. And something that is impermanent, why should I have attachment towards it? Why should I have desire to gain it? So Vairagya means what? That attitude of detachment, dispassion. For what or in what? In those pleasurable objects which are impermanent. Dehadi Brahma Paryante Anitye, which are attained, these objects are attained from Dehadi Brahma Paryante, from this body till the Brahmaji's life. In every different life, in every different yoni, in every different birth, there will be different objects which are pleasurable. On the earth, we have different objects. In Swarga, in the heaven, there will be different pleasurable objects. The objects that will give me pleasure. Towards all of them, I have desire to give them up. I have dispassion towards it. That is called as Vairagya. And how do I experience or enjoy these objects? Darshana, Shravana, Adibihi. Darshana, seeing. Shravana, hearing. Pleasurable objects means what? That which is pleasurable to my eyes, that which is pleasurable to my ears, that which is pleasurable to my tongue. Oh, that is the most important, isn't it? In all these, desire to give up is called as Vairagya. So, again see the verse. Tad Vairagyam, that is called as detachment. What is that? Ya Jihasa, which is desire to give up. What? Anitya Bhogavastuni. Desire to give up in that impermanent pleasurable objects which are attained through bodies and births from here up to Brahmaji, and experienced how? Through perception, hearing, seeing, smelling, touching, tasting, etc. Through all these 5 sense organs, I am enjoying the objects of this world or of other worlds. Remember previously Shankaracharya said, Iha amutra phala bhoga viraga. Iha here, amutra somewhere else. In different worlds, different objects will be there. Towards all of them, I have feeling that I don't want them. This is called as Vairagya. Now, why this feeling is required? Why this feeling is important? Because, you see, till the time we hold on to something lower, we cannot gain something that is higher. Isn't it? Must have seen in the, the ladder, when we are, climbing the ladder, you have to give up the lower step, then only you can go to the next step, isn't it? Suppose you say that, no, I don't want to give this up, but I want that next step. It is not possible. Unless I give up something lower, I will not be able to take something that is higher. Brahman is higher because it is real. The entire world is lower because it is unreal. The moment I have this firm understanding, this viveka, that Brahman alone is real, everything else is unreal. Now, next capacity that I must have is to give up desire for something that is unreal. To have that desire that I want to give them up. I don't want it. Why? Because it is not going to give me permanent happiness. See, we have been searching for happiness for such a long time. We have lived our life entirely for that. And we have understood that by going behind these pleasurable objects, I am not getting permanent happiness. Yes, I do get bits of joys. I do get that kick at some time, but it is not lasting. I have to gain something that is permanent. And that permanent thing is Brahman. That permanent thing is my own self. Everything else is impermanent. Ability to give up this impermanent is called as Vairagya. In some texts, this here the word jihasa is used. In another patha of the same text, it is called jugupsaya. Jugupsa is little stronger word. Jugupsa means revulsion. Gup nindayam, to hate. Means what? In some places it will be mentioned as kakavishtayam iva. Kakavishta is the dropping of the crow. When the crow is, something suddenly it drops, no? And then what you say, that feeling of that should be there in the pleasurable objects. That is called as Vairagya, they say. Means what? I don't want. Why do we still run behind the objects? Because we still think that there is some content of joy in them. In Vedanta Shastra, this is called as Shobhana Adhyasa. Shobhana Adhyasa means we think that there is ability to give me joy in those objects. We say that they are good, they are nice, and therefore then we run behind it. The scriptures tell us to do exact opposite. Scriptures say that they are yuck. You should not even look back at them. That kind of strong feeling should be there. Okay? Careful. You see, dispassion or detachment is not giving up family. That I have got a lot of responsibilities and now Vairagya is there. I am giving up all my responsibilities. That is not called as Vairagya. Okay? Family, relatives, etc. are not to be given up. Objects are not to be given up. Hankering for that objects or for the pleasures coming from those objects, that is to be given up. Careful. Objects are not to be given up. Otherwise, it will be easier to see, a person who has got minimum objects is most dispassionate, and person with maximum objects is least dispassionate. But it is not like that. Why? Because objects are not problem. What is the problem? Problem is my attachment with those objects. Objects may be there. Objects may not be there. I don't have any feeling of wanting those objects. That is called as Vairagya. Okay? Vairagya is not running away from society. Vairagya is not hating the world. The world is, like that only. That is not called as Vairagya. Vairagya is to understand that the world is impermanent and therefore I don't want it. Oh, okay, some objects are there. Okay, let them be there. They are giving me joy. Let them give me joy. Oh, tomorrow the objects are not there. Let them not be there. But then I will not get joy. Let them not give me joy. This kind of absolute freedom is called as Vairagya. Sometimes, we have funny Vairagya. Means we have a feeling that we have dispassion, but that is not actual. Means what? For some people, something that they cannot get, they say, I don't want it. You must have seen, very beautiful story in childhood that they used to tell was of the fox and the sour grapes. Remember? That there are grapes and the fox is trying to jump and eat the grapes, but he is not able to reach the grapes and therefore returns and says that the grapes are sour, are not tasty, are not sweet. Many times for us, Vairagya is like that. In school, etc., we used to say, what is the point in coming first in the class? What happens by coming first? Who can say this? One who has come first in the class can say this. You can never do that even if you try, and therefore you say, I have left it, Swamiji. I have left. That pursuit is useless pursuit. My dear, the pursuit is not useless. You are not able to do it and therefore you have left it. What is that? Please understand that is not called as Vairagya. Vairagya is not to give up what you cannot achieve. That is not Vairagya. Sometimes, sometimes we have Vairagya for some time. It is called as Smashana Vairagya. Very interesting word. Smashan means the cremation ground is called as Smashan. So, means what? When a person goes to cremation ground for somebody's cremation, some body's cremation, and you come back and, is very much dispassionate towards everything, that, what is life? There is no point in, accumulating things, because one day you will have to go, and you khali hath aaye the, hum khali hath jayenge, you came empty handed, you are going to go empty handed. Suddenly a person becomes philosophical, starts to give big discourses, but remember that stays only for few hours. After that, back to the world, back to enjoying and accumulating the entire thing. This Smashana Vairagya is not real Vairagya. Sometimes, we eat so much that indigestion happens, and then the stomach is so full and you cannot even, and suddenly at that time you get Vairagya. What? I don't want to eat food. That is for few hours. It is going to stay. That is because now you have eaten so much that you cannot eat anymore, and therefore a revulsion comes towards it. That is Smashana Vairagya. That is not real Vairagya. That is not real detachment or dispassion. Real dispassion is what? Understanding that the world is impermanent and therefore saying that I don't want it. That is called as dispassion. I may think right now that some object is giving me joy, but remember, the very same object which gives me joy later on gives me sorrow also. Isn't it? New car, joy. The same car, when you have to fill petrol and when it is gone somewhere and then the tire is punctured or somewhere in the middle of the road it breaks down, then what? The same car becomes sorrow giving. Think about it. New phone, nice food, every single thing that we think gives us joy, the same thing also gives us sorrow. Therefore, actually, what is the point? The point is that the objects are sorrow giving. They are impermanent. Even if I say that they are not sorrow giving, they give me joy, but they give me joy only momentary. Momentary joy is what they give. It doesn't last. So actually there is no joy in the objects, and therefore ability to give them up is what is called as Vairagya. Now, as we saw, this Vairagya arises from Viveka. When I am able to distinguish clearly what is real and what is unreal, what is permanent and what is impermanent, then only I can give up what is impermanent, isn't it? The hankering over the impermanent things. But also, Vairagya strengthens Viveka. When Viveka is there, Vairagya is easier, and Vairagya, when it is there, it strengthens Viveka. Why? Because you have given up what is impermanent, so Viveka is stronger. Yes, indeed, it is impermanent. That's how cyclic relation it has got between Viveka and Vairagya. Right? So, that is what is called as dispassion. Vairagyameva abhayam. It is said Vairagya, dispassion is fearlessness. Think about it. Fear is of what? Fear of death. Means what? Attachment towards body is what causes fear of death. Fear of public speaking. Attachment to your image is what causes public speaking fear. What will people say? I have got fear of height. Fear of height is not there. Fear of falling down is there and dying, which is again arising out of attachment towards body. Every single fear is born out of attachment. And therefore, Vairagya, dispassion, is fearlessness. Vairagyameva abhayam. This topic of Vairagya will come again later on in Vivek Chudamani, where Shankaracharya will say, Vairagyat na param sukhasya janakam pashyami vashyatmana. We will see at that time. We will glorify Vairagya. He'll show the importance of it. But this is called as dispassion. Now, important question. How to develop this Viveka and Vairagya? That you didn't tell. See, Viveka is developed when we are in good company. Good company means what? People, texts, books, which make me think about the reality, unreality of the world, about the permanence and impermanence of the world. That triggers Viveka. And Vairagya, how to develop Vairagya? You have to practice it. Practice what? Practice this feeling that what I am understanding to be impermanent, I should give it. Sometimes in scriptures they also speak of dosha drishti. Dosha drishti means fault finding vision. This fault finding vision is not to find faults in the world, okay? That's not the point. The point is what? In your own enjoyments, you find faults. The objects that give you joy, you start finding faults in them so that you stop hankering for those pleasures. For example, suppose I say coffee is my weakness, suppose. And therefore, to have Vairagya means what? Not to hanker for coffee. If that is what is stopping me, then what I should do? I should list down all the faults in coffee. Not in coffee actually, in me hankering for that coffee. I list down all the faults. No, but Veggie, there are no faults. It is so good. Now, if you keep saying it is so good, you will never be able to give it up. The coffee may be good, but you are hankering for it is not good. See how habits are formed. We suddenly start to think that without that coffee in the morning, we will not be able to work. Isn't it? No, that is bad. The coffee may be good, but finally to have such kind of feeling, suppose tomorrow you are in a place where you cannot have coffee, then what? No. Then you feel also, no, I am not able to think properly because I didn't have coffee. So your thinking capacity is dependent on coffee. There was a time when you were not drinking coffee. How were you thinking at that time? There are so many people in the world who don't have coffee, but they are thinking. It is called dosha drishti. You list down all the things. Suppose you come to know that I am watching TV too much. I am watching YouTube videos, Facebook, Instagram, etc. too much. If I want to have dispassion towards that, list down all the faults with it. That the time just passes away. I don't even realize. I am wasting so much of time. And it is all utterly nonsense anyways. It's not something that will give any knowledge to me or will turn, make me turn inwards, etc. Nothing like that is happening. I am just passing my time, wasting my time away, spoiling my time away. So you list down all those faults. And then what? Next time you feel that you want to drink coffee or you want to watch TV, take out this list and read. This is what it does. Then what will happen? Slowly, I will not have that insatiable hunger for those enjoyments. This is how to develop Vairagya. That's what Shankaracharya says in the next verse where he is defining Shama, but before defining Shama, he is telling this. Let us read verse number 22. Please repeat. Virajya Vishaya Vratat Dosha Drishtya Muhur Muhuhu Swalakshye Niyatavastha Manasa Shama Uchyate. So the definition of Shama comes in the second line. Swalakshye Niyatavastha Manasaha Shamaha Uchyate. But before that, what is he saying? He says Vishaya Vratat Virajya. Virajya, detaching. Same root, Ranj, where from which the Raga word is from, and then Vigata Raga, Viraga, Vairagya was formed. Same root is also here. Virajya, detaching, having that feeling of I don't want this. Virajya, from what? Detaching from what? Vishaya Vratat. Vrata here means multitude, many. Vishaya means objects. From many objects, from these sense objects of the world, virajya, detaching from them. Vishayavratat virajya. How? Dosha drishtya. By this dosha drishti just now we have seen, fault finding vision or pratipaksha bhavana, understanding the other side of it. Other side of it, what harm it has on me. Such kind of desire, such kind of hankering, such kind of passion. What does it do on me? What toll does it take on me? Dosha drishtya, by this fault finding vision. How? Muhu muhu. Muhu muhu means what? Muhur muhu means what? Again and again. You have to bring this dosha drishti again and again. You have to have this detachment again and again. Why again and again? Because it is not sufficient you have it once. See, we have so many times we have decided that I want to give up a habit. Isn't it? That this habit is bad and I want to give it up. That's they say also, smoking is a habit which is bad for me, and therefore I have given up smoking many times. You have given up smoking many times means what? Every single time that I give up, I start it again. Then again I give up. Then I again start it. Why? Because that's how it is. Habits are of that nature, and therefore what I have to do? Again and again I have to bring this dosha drishti. Again and again I have to see the faults in it. And again I have to develop that detachment towards it. That is what is required. Muhu muhu, again and again, dosha drishtya, through this fault finding vision, vishayavratat virajya, detaching from the multitude of objects. So if you carefully see, this detachment is vairagya and the dosha drishti is viveka. The understanding that these are impermanent objects will not give me joy. This is viveka. So through viveka and vairagya, when I have cultivated this feeling that I don't want that which is impermanent, I don't want that which is unreal, when I have developed this, then what? Then you go to the next quality. What is that next quality? Next quality is Samadhi Shat Sampatti, no? Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shat Sampatti. Now in that Samadhi Shat Sampatti, the 6 inner wealth, the first one is Shama. What is that Shama? Shankaracharya says, Swalakshye, in one's own goal. Swa, one's own. Lakshya, goal. Swalakshye, Saptami Vibhakti, in one's own goal, Niyata avastha. Niyata means firm. Avastha means abidance. Manasaha, of the mind. Firm abidance of the mind in one's own goal is called as Shama. Shamaha Uchyate. Uchyate is defined, is called. This is called as Shama. What is Shama? To firmly establish our mind in our own goal. And what is that goal? That goal is Brahman. Don't forget that. That is the goal. Abidance of mind in that goal is called as Shama. Again, carefully you see here. If you have studied Tattvabodha before, the definition of Shama given in Tattvabodha is Shamah kaha, Mano nigraha, Damah kaha, Chakshuradi Bahyendriya nigraha. Isn't it? Shama means what? Control of mind. Dama means what? Control of senses. But here the definition of Shama is little higher. Control of mind is not just said as controlling the mind, but is saying that that controlled mind should be placed in your own goal. That is called as Shama. Controlling mind is correct, but that controlled mind should be placed in the goal, in your goal. What is the source of all happiness? That is my own self. In that goal, you place your mind. Means what? The mind is no more going in the world. The mind is firmly placed in the object of meditation, in the goal that we all have. Swalakshe, manasaha niyatavastha. Firm abidance of mind in one's own goal is what is called as shama. See, remember, this is, of course, shama means control of mind. No doubt about that. The word shama itself comes from root sham, which means control. So, shama means control of mind. But how is that control? I am controlling the mind and placing it in that goal. That is where I am keeping my mind. That is where I am controlling my mind. From the world, I am controlling the mind and placing it in the goal. That is what is called as shama. Swalakshe niyatavastha manasaha shamaha uchyate. This is called as shama. Now, what is dhamma? Next verse gives next two actually qualities, dhamma and uparama. Both are given in verse number 23. Let us read. Please repeat. Vishayebhyah paravartya sthapanam swasvagolake ubhayeshamindriyanam sadamah parikirtitah bahyanalambanam vritteh esho paratiruttama. So, shama, dhamma, uparati or uparama. These are the three qualities. Now, 6 are there, no? Shama, dhamma, uparama, titiksha, shraddha, samadhan. 6 are going to be there. First, shama is defined. Now, the next two, dhamma and uparati or uparama are defined. What is dhamma? He says, Vishayebhyah paravartya. Vishayebhyah, from the sense objects, paravartya, turning away. Taking a U-turn from the sense objects. Ubhayesham indriyanam, of both the types of indriyas. Indriyas means organs. Both types of indriyas means organs of perception and organs of action. I hope you understand these. Organs of perception, 5. Eyes, ear, nose, skin, tongue. Organs of action, 5. Hands, legs and genital, then anus and speech, 5. So, organs of perception, from where I take the world inside. Organs of action, from where I act in the world. In both these, for both these type of senses, turning them away from the sense objects and what? Sthapanam swa golake, and placing them, establishing them in their own golaka. Golaka means socket. Golaka. What do you mean by that? You see, we will be studying this later on also when the Sukshma Sharira topic comes. When we speak of organs, we are talking about power. When we say Chakshur Indriya, the organ of perception, or Shrotra Indriya, when we say organ of hearing, we are not talking about this physical ear or this physical eye. We are talking about the power behind the eye to see. This physical eye that you all see, this physical ear is called as golaka, aperture, socket. Now, what is said here beautifully, he says, generally what happens, my senses are turned outside and therefore I am looking, I am hearing, I am smelling everything of the world. I am seeing the objects of the world, I am hearing the objects of the world, I am smelling the objects of the world. Now, Dhamma is what? To take these senses away from these objects and to establish them in their own apertures. Means what? No more the sense organs or the organs of action are going in the world. That is what is called as Saha. That Dhammaha Parikirtitaha is well known as Dhamma. That's why sometimes, you see, the word Shama comes from root Sham, means to control. Word Dhamma also comes from root Dham, which again means to control. So, Sanskrit, if you see, Shama and Dhamma mean same. They are synonymous actually. But in Vedanta, we use it in a particular way. That's why it is called as technical term, Paribhashika Shabda. What is the particular meaning we are giving? Shama means control of mind, Dhamma means control of senses. Or in other words, Shama means control of mind on the level of mind, Dhamma means control of mind on the level of senses. Careful. Understand the difference clearly. Either you can say Shama means controlling the mind and Dhamma means controlling the senses. Or you can say both means control of mind, but in Shama you are controlling the mind on the level of mind itself. Whereas in Dhamma you are controlling the mind on the level of senses. So when Shama is there, Dhamma is not required. If the mind is already placed in your own goal, then the senses will not go out anyways. So then Dhamma is not required. But when Shama is not there, Dhamma becomes important. Suppose you don't get angry, very good. But suppose you get angry, then Dhamma is required. Then keep your mouth shut. Anger is there, so Shama is not happening, but still Dhamma I have to, anger is there, but I have to control on the level of senses. You understand the difference? So, Shama means controlling the mind. The anger does not arise. Then Dhamma is not required. Then I don't have to say, keep quiet, no, because anger is not arising. So, when Shama is there, Dhamma is not required. But when Shama is not there, Dhamma becomes more important. When you cannot control on the level of mind, you have to control on the level of senses. We say, no, you keep your both hands, crossed and keep your finger on your mouth. Means what? Don't do anything with hand and don't talk. Why? Because when you are angry, when these two hands are free and your mouth is open, you will only make mistakes. On the level of senses, we say, shh. Now this is what is called as Sthapanam Swasva Golake. You keep mouth and keep hands where hands are there. Don't let something else come in the hand. Don't. Keep your senses in their own respective sockets. That is called as Dhamma. See how beautifully Shankaracharya is explaining. He could have easily said, no, like if you see Tattvabodha definition is what? Shamakaha, Manonigraha, control of mind, Dhammakaha, Chakshuradi, Bahyendriya Nigraha, controlling the outside senses. But this is Viveka Chudamani. Philosophy married to poetry. You see poetry coming out. He says, Vishayebhyah Paravartya. Paravartya, he says, turning away from the sense objects. Sthapanam Swasvagolake, establishing in their own sockets. What? Ubhayesham Indriyanam, both the types of organs. Sadhamaha Parikirtita. That is well known as Dhammaha. We have famous Shruti, famous quotation from Kathopanishad. Paranchikhani Vyatrunat Swayambhu. Tasmat Parang Pashyati Na Antaratman. Kaschiddhiraha Pratyagatmanamaikshat. Avritta Chakshuhu Amritattvamichan. Kathopanishad, the knowledge is given when it is said, Paranchikhani, all our senses are outwards. They go to the world. Vyatrunat Swayambhuhu, because Brahmaji have made them like that. And Tasmat, therefore, Parang Pashyati. The senses only see what is outside. Na Antaratman, and do not see what is inside, what is my inner self. But, Kaschiddhiraha, there is some rare person. Pratyagatmanam aikshata, in order to see the self, avritta chakshuhu, he turns these senses inside, becomes really introvert. Introvert nowadays is used in a very negative sense. He is a very introvert person. Introvert person is, spoken of nowadays like he doesn't go out and, he is not very comfortable with people. That's not the real meaning. Introvert means one who is not going outside, but one who is searching for it inside. So, Shama means what? Control of the mind on the level of mind itself, where the mind is placed in the goal and therefore doesn't have any negative tendencies. Dhamma means controlling on the level of senses. Because the mind is not able to stay at that point, you at least don't allow mind to go out. At least stop it on the level of senses. That is called as Dhamma. Now the Shama and Dhamma, when it is there, perfect, it naturally goes to Uparati or Uparama, the next quality. What is said here? Bahya analambanam vrittehe of the mind, of the thought. Bahya, outside. Analambanam, no support outside. Alambana means support. Analambana, na alambana means no support. Means what? The thought is not resting on something outside. That is called as Esha Uparatihi Uttama. Shankaracharya says this is best Uparati. See, Uparama or Uparati both mean same. Both comes from root Ram. Ram means to revel. Uparama means not to revel. Opposite. See, Rama, Ram dhatu, no? Ramaman, we say, no? Ramaman hona. Reveling. Uparama means not to revel. So, Shama means control of mind. Dhamma means control of senses. Uparama means mind which is not reveling in the world of objects. Effortless withdrawal is what is called as Uparati. Shama, control of the mind. Dhamma, control of the senses. Uparama or Uparati, effortless withdrawal, where the mind is no more taking support of the world of objects. Means what? The thought is not going out and resting it in the world of objects. It is effortlessly withdrawn from those objects. That is called as Uparati. Esha Uparatihi Uttama. Non-reveling, total disinterest. So actually when Shama and Dhamma are complete, Uparati is natural. You don't no more enjoy it. See, often we say that Veji, my mind gets distracted because the objects are like that. You see, TV is like that, no? When it is playing, how can you not see? Arey, my dear, but when your child is seeing something, you don't see. The child is enjoying the cartoon, you have total disinterest towards it, and therefore it doesn't distract you. Suppose cricket match is being shown on the TV, that is because you like, therefore in between study, in between the work also you keep looking at it. Suppose the TV is playing something which you have no interest for, news channel etc., some boring stuff they are talking, or some serials etc. they have put where you have no interest, then you don't have to put efforts. No, don't see, okay, no focus, not required. Why? Because I am not interested in it. Even if they give me for free, I don't want. If that is how we are, then it is what? Effortlessly withdrawn. Then Shama, Dhamma, nothing is required. You see, no control of mind, no control of senses. Why? Because you don't have interest now anymore. Okay, so that mind which is totally disinterested towards the pleasures of the world, that state of mind is called as Uparati or Uparama, effortlessly withdrawn. Often, whenever this Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, etc. is spoken of, we always ask this question, how to control the mind? The world is so enchanting that the mind goes towards it. How to control it? Such question was asked to Tukaramji, Sant Tukaram, no? Great saint from Maharashtra. Some seeker asked that, how do you keep your mind in God? Because our mind always remains in the world, How do you keep your mind in God? And Tukaram Maharaj said, how can you not keep your mind in God? That you tell me. How do you not keep it? It is so beautiful, so enchanting. Sundarate dhyana ubhe vitevari kara katavari theuni. How can you not have love for it? How can your mind not rest there in that beautiful form of Vittala? We're standing on that brick, keeping both his hands on his, vest, waiting for the devotee. How can you not keep your mind in that God? Once what happened, Naradji wanted to see that this Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Vishnu always keep praising Gopikas. What is so special about these Gopikas? So he wanted to check. So he went to Vrindavan. And Gopikas there, we all know that after Bhagavan Shri Krishna left them, they were all very much in pain. And therefore he wanted to see, do they have that level of devotion for Bhagavan or not? And when he was seeing that the Gopikas were doing their own work, etc. And one very strange thing he saw, that at one place, one Gopika was sitting and meditating. Now this was a very new thing for him. We also have never seen Gopikas, meditating, etc. So he waited. Naradji waited. And waited for that Gopika to come out of meditation. The moment Gopika came out of meditation, he asked, I want to know, were you meditating on Krishna? What was in his mind was that, they also have to meditate on Krishna, you see. But the Gopika's reply was superb. She said, no, I was meditating to get Krishna out of my mind so that I can focus on my work. That blue-faced boy has gone inside my mind and has captured the entire mind. Now that mind is not available for work. So for some time, I was trying to keep that Krishna away from my mind so that I can focus on some work. We have a problem that our mind doesn't remain in God. Saints have problem that the mind doesn't remain in the world. Why? Because Uparati, Uparama is perfect in them. Effortlessly, mind is withdrawn. And you see how Shankaracharya is explaining here, Bahya Analambanam Vrittehe. Bahya Analambanam means the mind doesn't take any outside object as its support. A thought always needs support of object. Antakaranasya vishaya-akarena parinamaha vritti. Vritti is what? Vritti, thought is what? Parinama, modification of mind in the form of that object. That is called as vritti, that is called as thought. Now that thought is not resting in any object. It is resting in one's own self. That state is called as Uparati. So Shama, control of mind or control on the level of mind. Dama, control of senses or control on the level of senses. And Uparama or Uparati means effortless withdrawal, where the mind is no more resting in the world of objects, it is just withdrawn from it. That is called as Uparati. Right? And here the definition of Titiksha which is there given by Shankaracharya is the best definition. You cannot get better definition of Titiksha than this. Right? Let us read. Please repeat verse number 24. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam Satitiksha nigadyate. Beautiful. Satitiksha. That is called as Titiksha. Nigadyate. Nigadyate means called, explained. What is that? He says, Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. Sahanam. Sahanam means to endure. Endurance. Forbearance. Of what? Sarva dukkhanam. Of all sorrows, all troubles, all discomforts, all pinpricks of life, as Gurudev would call. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. And how is that? Apratikara purvakam, without opposing it. Pratikar means to oppose, to fight against it. Apratikara purvakam, without fighting for it. Not that, I fought for it, but I could not do, therefore I give up. No. Don't put that effort only in fighting. Apratikara purvakam. Why are they saying like this, you see? If today I am happy, there will come a time when that happiness will go and sorrow will come. Even that sorrow will not remain permanently. Even that sorrow will go and joy will come. So when I know that the sorrow is not going to remain permanent, if it has come, it will go, why to oppose? As long as it is there, forbear it. See, because we will never be satisfied. Never will come a time when everything is perfect. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We go to a new place and we start staying there, and then bed, etc. We find some discomfort, etc. Then we start to shift few things. Then the fan is very interesting because either it is on absolute low or full. There is nothing intermediate speed, and we always want that intermediate speed only. Number one, on one fan is too slow, and on two it is too fast. Now somewhere in between we want. Isn't it? We sit on chair, it is too low. Okay, you take it up, now it is too high. See, these pairs of opposite that we have in life, they are always going to remain there. With food also same thing or no? Either it is too spicy, what is this, there is no spice at all. What do you want? No, I will tell you, only this, then you cook. No, I don't want to. Always there will be something like this. If something is fine, something else will not be fine. You all are more experienced than me. When you have maid at home, no? Oh, never you are satisfied with the maid. Never. It is not possible. If she cleans well, then she doesn't do something else properly. If she does one thing nicely, another thing is not done nicely. If she puts the bed sheet correctly, then she forgets to put it inside. Something or the other will keep happening. Now, if for all those little things, we start getting angry, we start reacting, we start to correct everything, our whole life will go in that only. What is the purpose of life? Don't forget that. What are we supposed to do? So, keeping that in mind, Shankaracharya says, apratikara purvakam, without any opposition. Don't fight for it. Today, the sabji is spicy. Oh, it is spicy, full stop. What is this today sabji? No. Not what is this. Not comma, that therefore. Today, sabji is spicy, full stop. Okay, if you say veggie, fine. What to do? Today sabji is spicy. Next line he says, Chinta vilapa rahitam. Don't talk like, it is what to do now. There is no other option, only vilapa. Don't do vilapa. Today sabji is spicy. Say, smilingly you say. Not that what to do now. I have to live here and it is like this. Going on. How are you? Going on. What going on? Nicely, everything is nice only. You are alive. What more you want? But we are never happy, and therefore we keep saying. So Shankaracharya says, Chinta vilapa rahitam. Rahitam means without. Without what? Chinta. Chinta means worry, anxiety for the future. No, I don't know how it will happen. No, now everything is fine, but what if tomorrow? At that we will see tomorrow. No, but what? At that we will see tomorrow. Don't have chinta. Vilapa means crying. Literally vilapa means crying. So vilapa means crying. We are crying about all other things. Means we are not opposing, but we keep crying about it. We don't have that much strength to oppose. But why don't you tell? that there is some problem. What? Why have they made like this? Every single thing, I tell you, we see people all around us. Sometimes we are also like that, but sometimes we see also people all the time crying. Their sthai bhava is crying. Every single thing they will have problem. No, but that light is too bright. So now what? So okay, now they have started giving the like the regulator for fan you have. Nowadays you have regulator for that light also. Take. You decide how much bright you want. That's why they brought AC also. Nowadays half a degree also you can change. It's not even 23 to 24. You can put 23.5. Still, even after all these things, our complaints do not stop. So, literally crying doesn't mean that you have to have, you should start crying means a lot of, no, not required. Complaints is also crying only. We say nagging all the time, saying, that is called as Chinta Vilaparai. Shankaracharya says, without all that, Sahanam, you go through that sorrow. So, because by complaining, the situation is not changing. You should see, nowadays, though, everything is online, no? So, you all are sitting in your own home, and so you are adjusting your fan, etc. But when there are sessions happening, and everybody is sitting, so that fan will be there, somebody will be, putting shawl, etc. And somebody will be, same fan, same hall. Everybody, but one person wants it more, one person. Some of the people who are come here, course is going to start in few days. You see, you wait. You will see all that happening. Some people will, the moment you, and you see, very interesting. When we are sitting in audience and listening to spiritual talk also, we want the speaker to know that we are not in comfort. And therefore, but why? What is the problem? With handkerchief, how much air will come? And if already it is hot, how much are you going? No, but in front of the speaker. Why? Because they should know what is this. What? Then Pavam, Swamiji also feels bad, and Swamiji says that decrease that fan little bit or increase that fan little bit. The moment you put increase, the other person removes shawl from the bag and starts putting shawl. What will you do? What will you do? See, those things are always going to remain. It is not that if I start complaining, the things are going to be better. No. If I say, oh, so much hot it is, so what? The temperature is going to reduce? No. If I say, it is too cold, so what? The temperature is not going to change because you are complaining. In one movie, they keep their hand on the chest and say, all is well, all is well. The similar idea is there. They say, why do you say all is well? Are you changing the situation? He says, no. But you get strength to face the situation. No. That is what is important. Anyways, the situation is not in your hand. This Gurudev will say, these are called as small pinpricks of life. Pin is pricking, no? Little pin, your body is so big, little pin doesn't create any problem. But we immediately, that much pin is not pricking. So little pinpricks of life, you accept cheerfully. That cheerful acceptance is called as titiksha here. See, titiksha, the word comes from root tij. Tij means kshamayam. To endure. Actually, the word kshama also in Sanskrit, it is in the meaning of kshanti, not shanti, okay? Kshanti. Shanti means to endure. Many times we use the word kshama means to forgive. But it is not just in the meaning of forgive, but it is forgive and forbear. That forbearance is the meaning of this titiksha. Cheerfully accept, not gleefully. Chinta Vilapa Rahitam is said by Shankaracharya, don't forget that. Not that accept the situation, now what to do, I have to accept. Not like that. Cheerfully accept the situation. No, it is like that. Today, it is raining, very good. Tomorrow, it is very hot, very good. Why? Because by complaining, the situation is not going to change. But when you stop complaining, your mind is free. That is what is required, isn't it? When the mind is free of all such things, then it can think about something higher. Actually, these qualities that we are seeing, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti, are very closely associated with meditation. Shama, Dhamma, Uparama is very much required in meditation. Control of mind, control of senses, effortless withdrawal. Now, in meditation, this Titiksha is also very much important. Gurudev will dramatize this. That suddenly, that husband in the family suddenly declares, hey, all of you come here. What? From tomorrow morning, I am going to meditate. 6 o'clock sharp. Looks at wife and says, so therefore, no sound should come from the kitchen. Tomorrow is Sunday, no need of early breakfast. Don't go to kitchen and create any kind of sound. I am going to meditate. And gets up also next day, dot, so that 6 o'clock can meditate. Closes the door. Before closing also looks out and says, hey, now I am going. Don't disturb. Sound should not. Wife also kitchen. Now I am going inside. Closes the door. Nice asana is there. Sits. The Gurudev would say, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. He starts to meditate. The moment he starts, he feels that some discomfort is there where he is sitting. So he takes one extra pillow to support. And again, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Fan is not proper. He gets up, increases the fan. Again sits down. Hari Om, Hari Om. Now the fan is too fast. Again gets up. Again changes. Like this it keeps on happening. After some time he also thinks that some sound is coming, some cutlery. Maybe my wife is making coffee. So I think I should drink coffee and then meditate nicely, with all that. And remember in the kitchen, wife is terrified. So she is not making, so even if she wants to keep something on that cabinet, she is keeping like this because sound should not come. Otherwise this fellow will come and pounce on her. And suddenly everybody hear that the door is opening. 10 minutes also are not over. Okay. The fellow went inside. And the door is opening. Now everybody comes there to see because they don't know what is going to come out. Suddenly one aura, etc. also may come out. Everybody is waiting and the fellow says, excuse me, are you making coffee? I'm thinking that I will have coffee and then meditate. My dear, there is no problem. There is no discomfort actually from the world. The discomfort is in mind. And when you accept it in mind, the outside discomfort doesn't matter at all. Because remember, what we are calling as discomfort is luxury for some other person. Carefully, this point is very important. What we are calling as discomfort is luxury for somebody else. They often say, no, I was complaining about my shoe till the time I saw a person without leg. You have legs. So rather than being thankful about what you have, if you start complaining about what you don't have, it will only create one thing, and that is disturbance in mind. Avoid that. So titiksha is that ability to forbear these pairs of opposites, these little discomforts in life. That is called as titiksha. See, you travel by car, bike, etc. A bumpy road also, if shock absorbers are good, then you don't feel much problem. This titiksha is shock absorber for life. If you have that titiksha well, then any problem, any difficult situation comes, we go through it. And again, I have been always saying, that in Western philosophy, they always use the word problem. In Eastern philosophy, in Indian philosophy, we don't say problem, we call it as situation. Why? Because the moment you call it as problem, you take burden of it and you want to remove it. But when you say situation, you either want to face it or ignore it. Now, here titiksha means what? Without opposing. You just go through it. So, you are sitting for meditation, the fan is not exactly how you want, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Let it be there. So what? What will happen? Maximum what will happen? You will start sweating. Let it. Go through it. Today it is like that. Today the meditation is going to have like that, but I am not going to think about it. I am going to think about something else. That is called as titiksha. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sattiksha nikatyate. If you are noting important verses, this is one important verse. Sahanam sarva dukkhanam. See, then only we become sadhaka. The seeker we become only when we can forbear this. And therefore, sadhaka, what happens for a seeker? When a difficult situation comes, the sadhaka looks at it as another opportunity to forbear. He is not averse to that. He is not saying, why God, why only with me only you are sending all. No. He says, nice. Now, one more thing I can test myself with. Let me go through this also. See, you change the attitude, your life becomes simple. Otherwise, you will keep complaining. In your Kendra, youth wing of Chinmay Mission, when I was there, we used to have very nice. Swamiji used to tell us, no complaints day. One day will be no complaints day. No complaints day means that day you cannot complain about anything. You try it out. Next 1 week, no, don't do for full week, you will go mad. Don't do for full week. Pick any day, and in that day also pick any 4 hours. I am not even telling you to do all 24 hours. No. But those 4 hours should not be night, when you are sleeping there. Now, no complaints day. From night 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. No, not that. Choose a perfect time. Morning when everybody in the house gets up. And evening when everybody is at the home. Choose that. And then practice this no complaint. No complaint. Anything, anybody does anything, you also do anything, you cannot complain. You try it out. Then you will know how many complaints we have every day. You are not keeping this here. This should be like. You are watching some TV. Why are you doing like this? Not even for imaginary characters. In the TV show that you are watching, can you complain? Try it out. No complaints. Okay. Then we will know how much titiksha we actually have and how much we have to progress take. Right. Now, let us go to the next verse. The next quality, the fifth quality in the sixfold inner wealth. Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha. 4 are over. Now we go to the fifth quality, Shraddha. Let us see. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhya Vadharana Sa Shraddha Kathita Sadbhihi Yaya Vastu Palabhyate. He says, Shastrasya, of the scripture, Guru Vakyasya, of the statement of the Guru. Guru Vakya. Vakya means statement. Of the teaching of the Guru. Satya Buddhya Avadharana. Satya Buddhya with what we say Satyamiti Buddhi. with a feeling that yes, it is true. Satya buddhya avadharana, firm understanding, firm conviction that this is true. Sa shraddha, that is called as shraddha, faith. What is faith? Faith is to have firm conviction that the scripture and the guru are absolutely true. Whatever they are telling is absolutely true. This firm conviction is called as faith. Sa shraddha kathita. Kathita is called. By whom? By whom it is called as faith? Sadbhihi. Sadbhihi, by the wise. By the wise, this is called as faith. And Shankaracharya adds one point there. Yaya vastu upalabhyate. Yaya, that by which vastu, the supreme reality, the Brahman, upalabhyate, is gained. Note this point. For no other quality, Shankaracharya says that you will gain supreme reality by this. Only for faith it is said. Why it is like that, we will see. We will see now. But that's what Shankaracharya says. That much importance is given to this faith. Now we are very funny people. About faith also, we don't have faith. For our faith or for somebody's faith also, we don't have any faith. Oh, who says? Who says? No faith. But here what is said? Shastrasya guruvakyasya satya buddhya avadharana. In Tattvabodha, the definition is given, Guru Vedanta Vakyadishu Vishwasa Shraddha. Firm belief in Guru and Vedanta Vakya, in the teacher and the scripture. Sometimes Ishvara is also added. Firm belief in the Lord, that is called as Shraddha. In Vedanta, these three factors, Guru, Vedanta and Ishvara. In these three factors, when you have firm belief, that is called as faith. Now about this faith, we have lot of doubt. That faith, is it required? Why should it be required? And how can we trust? You see, let us go from absolute basics. In our everyday life also, faith is required. It's not that faith is only for spiritual life. We all are sitting, some of us are sitting on the second floor and third floor. You have faith in the engineers who built your building, isn't it? Good only, I am not saying doubt, but I am saying that's why you can comfortably sit and attend the class. Why? Because there is firm trust and belief that this will not fall. Every day while sleeping, we put alarm. What is that? Trust that we will get up, that we will be alive till the time alarm is there. Isn't it? You just think about it. It is not that faith is something which is only in spiritual life. But of course, its importance in spiritual life is much more. Because Vedanta is talking about something which we cannot understand by any other means. And therefore, the entire faith has to be in the statement of the Vedanta. We will come to that. But the point is what? Faith is not new to us. And we also know a person who keeps doubting is always sad. Because doesn't have faith in anything. Who said? How do you know? What? Why? We say also no, doubting Thomas. We say. I don't know why Thomas got that name, doubting Thomas. It must be some character must be there in the Western culture, because of which they must have created this phrase, doubting Thomas. But we say no, samshayatma vinashyati. Na sukham samshayatmanah also is said in Bhagavad Gita, that na sukham samshayatmanah, for the person who doubts, na sukham, there is never any joy. Why? Because every single time his mind is busy doubting. So, now, so doubt is not a good thing. So, does it mean that we should believe blindly in anything that they say? Careful. Blind belief and faith are very different. Gurudev would define faith very beautifully. He used to say, faith is belief pending inquiry. Very beautiful. Faith is what? Belief pending inquiry. Means what? To begin with, I believe, and then I inquire, and then I confirm that what I believed in was right. That's called as faith. In blind belief, what happens? You don't put any efforts. You say blind belief means what? This is like this. And therefore, if somebody asks question, no, so you cannot ask questions in blind belief. But how it is? No, don't ask. Don't ask. Just eat this. It is said that if you eat this, you will get all the knowledge. Eat. But how will you get knowledge? This is just a fruit. No, you eat. Don't ask questions. That is blind belief. Here what we are talking about, faith is means you believe and then you inquire. Then you ask 100 questions. When the Vedanta is telling you are Brahman, you ask question, how can I be that Brahman? How can I be that Brahman? I have little power, that God has all power. God knows everything, I know little. How can I be? You ask questions. Nobody is saying no to ask questions. Why? Because it is belief pending inquiry. So it is not blind belief that we are talking about, which is not backed by intellectual inquiry. The moment we inquire, we understand what is true and what is just a blind belief. Okay? But you see, suppose you say that no, but I don't want to have belief only, then you will not be able to proceed. Why? Because we are talking about something which is beyond sensory perception, which is beyond the mind, beyond the intellect. How else will you gain the knowledge? Unless you have faith. Therefore, in Shravana also, the most important thing is faith. When you are listening, now you are listening. Suppose first question is, what is the proof that Vivek Chudamani was written by Shankaracharya? Very good. We start only from there. Nowadays, you go to scholars, summit, etc. That will be their topic. What is written in Vivek Chudamani and whether we can practice it or not, that is something different. First question, what is the proof that Vivek Chudamani was written by Shankaracharya? What is the proof that there were 585 verses? What is the proof that Satya Buddhyava Dharana is Satya Buddhyava Dharana only and not something else? Now remember, if you keep doubting, you will never gain knowledge. Also, you never ask these questions for science. What is the proof that Archimedes came up with the principle of water displacement? What is the proof that Newton came up with the law of gravitation? You never ask this question. When you were sitting in science class, did you raise your hand and say that, ma'am, what is the proof? You never asked. See, is it not possible that Newton's neighbor was a very brilliant person who came up with these 3 laws of motion? And Newton just took it and made it patent on his name. Possible or not possible, you tell me. I am not saying it happened like that. I am not against Newton, but I am saying, is it possible or not possible? But we never ask questions. The moment it is physics or chemistry, biology, we believe. The moment it is spirituality, religious, then immediately, what is the proof? What is the proof Sri Rama existed? What is the proof that he built a bridge? Go and jump into the ocean, you will find a bridge. If not, your body will find the bridge, because it is there. No, we believe. Now NASA has also confirmed, but we need NASA to confirm. Till that time, we don't believe. Very nice, very funny people. We never ask such questions in science. Actually, we should ask questions in science only. You know why? Because the science keeps changing their theory. Atomic model structure, Bohr's atomic model structure, when you are studying, you study it very sincerely. Next chapter is Rutherford's model, and then you understand Bohr's model is wrong. Then you ask, why am I studying this then? Then you study Rutherford's model also, and with full faith you study, you by heart also what all, and then they say atomic structure is something different, that proton and neutron is in the center, electrons are roaming around. Then why did you teach me the previous 2 theories? There we never ask questions. The theories, and you see in science, no theory is final theory. Now we may say Newton's theory is final, but then Einstein comes and says that it is only relative. Newton's theory works only in Newtonian time and space. Then what happened outside Newtonian time space? What happens? There is a different theory, I will tell you. Then Einstein comes. Then after 50, 20, 100 years, another Einstein will come and change. But we never ask. Whereas in Vedanta, it is confirmed. You are Brahman, full stop. There is no changing the theory. And time and again, the masters which come will just strengthen the theory that yes, it is true, we have experienced. It is a time-tested method. So many people have walked on this path and have confirmed that yes, this is true. Still, if we don't have faith, it is our loss. That is why Shankaracharya says, Yaya vastu upalabhyate. If you have faith, you will gain the supreme. Another thing that is important is, when we have faith, logic is not required. When we have faith, logic is not required. When our mother tells something and we have faith, logic is not required. Isn't it? Does the child, when the mother gives that milk bottle in the child's mouth, does the asks, wait, what quality is the milk? Is it correctly pasteurized and all? Have you checked? No logic is required. Why? You have faith. Over, topic close. Faith doesn't require logic then. Why? Because see, logic is again funny thing. Today I have a strong logic about something, tomorrow somebody else will give logic, my logic will go for a toss. It will keep changing. Then what? Then I will also keep changing. One time I am, very much dedicated, and another time I am very much. Why? Because as long as it is logic, it can be proved and it can be disproved also. But when there is faith, you cannot shake that faith. It is like this, full stop. But remember, this is not blind faith we are talking about. We are not averse to thinking. We are not doubting. But we are just wanting to know how. We are not saying I am not Brahman, but I am saying how am I Brahman? Our children, etc., they will ask 100 questions. Why should we go to temple? What is the proof? God exists. 100 questions will be asked. But remember, if that question is out of blind faith, saying that no, I don't agree to it, and therefore then it will not lead anywhere. But if you say that if God is there, or if scriptures are telling, if my mother is telling, there must be some truth, but I want to know how. Then what will happen? Then that question will lead to knowledge. What happens when I go to temple? Why should I do this? If I know, I will do it in a better way. When will it happen? When it is backed by belief. That first I believe that it is true, I just want to know how is it true. See, if you don't ask that next question, it will become blind belief. There was one doctor, but he was a very different kind of doctor who used to cure people by using mantras. There are different kinds of medicines in our culture, yantra, tantra, mantra, different kinds of medicines are there. So mantra is a mantrik, we used to say, no? So he is a person who will cure a disease by chanting a particular mantra. And one person who saw this mantrik, chanting, and somebody had serpent bite was there, and this mantrika chanted mantra, and that wish, that poison came out, and poison went away, and that person became fine. Now this one person became very thrilled by it and kept on going behind this and said, please teach me this mantra, please teach me this mantra. So he says, no, there are a lot of things that are required, we can't teach, and it is a rahasya, and it is kind of secret, and we can only teach, in our family, and there are so many restrictions, I can't just, because somebody may misuse. Mantra power is something that can be misused. So he kept saying no. But this student was very persistent and said that, you please teach whatever you want, I will do. You want me to serve, I will serve. Whatever you want, I will do. So, one day, he was irritated. The teacher was irritated and said, come, I will tell you. Dam, deem, doom. This is the mantra. Go. The student became so happy. I got mantra, and then went and kept on repeating dam, deem, doom, kept on repeating that mantra. It so happened that this mantrika was in some other village, and the king of that particular kingdom announced that my son has got a serpent bite, and if anybody can cure it, we'll get 1,000 gold coins. But the mantrika had gone to another place, so mantrika was not there. So it kept on, they kept on going rounds, etc. And then the student came and he said, I know. So the king said, how do you know? He says, you know that mantrika? He said, yeah, but he's not, he's my guru. He taught me the mantra. And he taught me, and since then I am only thinking about that mantra only, and I can cure. Now he said, okay, no, there is no other option. You try. And he went to that prince and he said, Dam Dim Dum, and he was cured. Now after few days, the mantrika came back. Now the story was going around. The mantrika came to know that mantrika's student cured prince from serpent bite. Now the most surprised person was mantrika because mantrika knew that I have not taught him correct mantra. I was irritated to get rid of him. I just told him something. Dam Dim Dum is not a mantra to cure serpent bite. What cured serpent bite? Faith. The student had faith that whatever teacher has told is true. Full stop. That faith does wonders. Mantra power is something, but power of faith is something else. Very famous real story of Nisargadatta Maharaj also is there. One realized person from Mumbai. He was living in slum. He had BD shop. That's what, an uneducated person. He used to roll BDs and sell. One day one Mahatma came there and he was listening and said, you are that. Nisargadatta Maharaj, without any prior knowledge, nothing, he just believed, I am that. Full stop. In 6 months he realized. He's written a book called I Am That. I'm not joking, you go and find it. Faith does wonders. When there is no faith, then logic is required. Then all the other things are required. Shankaracharya says, if faith is there, yaya vastu upalabhyate, that by which you can gain the supreme reality. Faith is a very, very, very important quality. Sa shraddha katita sadbihi yaya vastu upalabhyate. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Bhagavad Gita also says, isn't it? Samshayatma vinashyati. So faith is something that we must have, and more so in Vedanta, because as I said, number one, it is not worldly knowledge which you can testify. It's something that is beyond sensory perception, beyond mind and intellect, and therefore the only way is to have faith. If you don't have faith, you cannot progress. Number one. Number two, it cannot be confirmed by other person also. It is not something that, why? Because it cannot be explained in words. So anybody who has experienced that supreme says that I cannot explain. Why? And even if I explain, you won't understand, because it cannot be something that can be understood. It is not something like that. So, this knowledge is something that without Guru, without the scriptures telling us, it's not possible. Alaukika Vishaye Vedaha Pramanam. We have seen earlier also that in all such matters which are beyond sensory perception, Vedas are the final authority. And even those Vedas, even the Vedanta, we cannot study on our own. Therefore, Guru is must. Therefore, Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadana. Shankaracharya writes in one place, in Bhashya, Shastradnyopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam na kuryat. Even if you are well versed in other scriptures, you understand Vyakarana and Nyaya and Mimamsa, everything you understand. Even then, Brahmanveshanam, the Vedantic knowledge, you should not do independently. You must do it under a Guru. It is absolutely must. This point we have emphasized many times, so I don't have to tell again and again. The Shruti, the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, they are replete with the mantras and statements which show the importance of Guru. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. Only a person who has a teacher will understand. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. Tasyaite katita hi artha. One who has got devotion towards God and Guru, only such a person will understand the Shastra, otherwise will not understand Shastra. Scriptures will, see, the scriptures are very, very cryptic in nature. Unless somebody opens it up in front of us and shows that by living, till that time we won't understand. You all reflect in your own life also. There would have been one person who changed your perspective towards spirituality, not by teaching but by living it. You met some person who was living Vedanta and it changed you. Otherwise, we meet scholars so many times, nothing happens. But we meet a sadhu once, it changes our life. So, faith in the scripture, faith in the Guru is absolutely must. Question is, how to develop? How to develop faith? The best way to develop faith is to read more and more about these three: God, Guru and scriptures. Read more and more. Read the biographies or autobiographies. Biographies only will be more of great saints, because many times the saints don't write autobiographies. That's why I said biographies will be more. Biographies of great saints you read. Great saints of the past, great saints of the present. Whatever you like. Read that. We will really understand the importance of faith, and that will give us a chance to develop faith. Read more and more. Glory of the Lord, glory of the scripture. You read that. Satsanga, be in touch with such people. Your faith will be strengthened. Don't forget, Yaya Vastupalapati. Only by that the Supreme will be realized. Okay. I think sufficient for today. Two important qualities we have seen today. Okay, Titiksha and Shraddha. Both are absolutely important. See, Titiksha is to leave all that which is worldly, in the sense that you are not looking at it. You are saying that I will go through it. Shraddha will give you the acceleration towards the Supreme. Titiksha and Shraddha. Now, one more quality in the sixfold inner well, Samadhanam, and Mumukshutva, the fourth in the fourfold qualification. That we will see in the next session. Now, let us go to the last of the sixfold inner wealth, Samadhanam, verse number 26. Please repeat. Samyaga sthapanam buddhehe shuddhe brahmani sarvada tat samadhanamityuktam natu chittasya lalanam. There is also Patha Beda. In different Patha it is Sarvada sthapanam buddhehe shuddhe brahmani sarvatha or sarvada. This Patha is also there. Meaning is not very different, we will see. One Patha says what? Samyak. Samyak means well. Asthapanam, placing, establishing. Buddhehe, of the mind. So, well establishing the mind, Shuddhe Brahmani, in that pure Brahman, Shuddha pure, Brahmani, Brahman, in that Brahman, Sarvada or Sarvatha, in all ways, or Sarvada, always. Tat Samadhanam. That is called as Samadhanam. Iti Uktam. This is what is called as Samadhanam. Natu, and not Chittasya Lalanam. Chittasya Lalanam. Lalanam means whims and fancies of the mind. That is not called as Samadhana. This is called as Samadhana. What? Placing the mind well in that pure Brahman. Well establishing the mind in that pure Brahman is called as Samadhana. Now, we saw that these 6 qualities have also got very close connection with meditation. Now, here it becomes clear that Samadhanam is the final stage of meditation. where you are placing the mind well, perfectly in that Supreme Brahman, Shuddhe Brahmani. Now somebody says that, but then it is same as Shama, isn't it? Shama also you defined it like this only, that you are placing that mind in one's own goal, isn't it? What is that? Swalakshe niyata avastha manasah shama uchyate was said. Manasah swalakshe niyata avastha. What is the difference between the shama and samadhana? You see, shama is more like control of mind, and samadhana is to place that controlled mind in supreme goal. So one is emphasizing on detaching the mind from the world, and samadhana is focusing on attaching it to the supreme self. We always say, no, these are the two steps: detach and attach. Detach from the lower and attach to the higher. So that detaching from the lower is focused, is emphasized on in shama, and attaching to the highest is emphasized in this samadhana. That's the difference. Actually, it is same, but where is the focus? That is different. The definition looks same, but the focus is different. Focus is on control of mind in shama. Focus is on placing that mind in supreme in samadhana. Also, please note, the word samadhana is very technical here. In Marathi, etc., in Hindi also, samadhan. Samadhan means contentment. We say, no, samadhan. It's not contentment. Samyak adhanam, samadhanam. That is exactly what is said, no? Samyak asthapanam buddhehe. That's the literal meaning of samadhanam. Samyak, well, adhanam, placing. Placing the mind perfectly in the Supreme Brahman. That is what is called as samadhana. Natu chittasya lalanam. And not allowing the mind to go according to whims and fancies. That is what is called as samadhana. Means what? See, if the mind is not going into the world, then this natu chittasya lalanam is taken care of. Allowing the mind to go on its own ride is not meditation. It's exactly opposite of it. Not allowing mind to go anywhere and placing it perfectly in that Supreme Brahman, that is what is called as samadhanam. So now you see, shama, dama, uparama focuses on control of mind. Control of mind on the level of mind, on the level of senses, and effortless withdrawal. Titiksha again doesn't allow the mind to dissipate, to correct little discomforts. Shraddha, faith, gives that focus, or what we can say as force, to go towards higher, and samadhanam clearly tells me to be there till the time I gain it. Right? And therefore the words like samyak, sarvada, sarvatha are used. Means what? Don't allow mind to go out for any reason at any point of time, even a bit. Samyak means totally, sarvada means always, and sarvatha means in all ways. Don't allow mind to go out for any reason at any point of time, even a bit. That is what is called as samadhana. Okay. For that, you see, for this, the whole life has to change. People always ask this question, we try to meditate, but the concentration doesn't happen. Why? Because what you do outside meditation is more important. You do all kinds of nonsense outside meditation and then you want 30 minutes to, meditate perfectly. It doesn't happen like that. You have been listening to some songs, then when you sit for meditation, those songs will come back. You have watched some movie last night, then next day morning that movie will come back. You have ate too much. Then now While meditating, your burping, etc. will come. Why? Because eaten so much. If the life is not balanced in the remaining time of the day, how can you meditate properly in the time when you are sitting for meditation? And therefore, here if samadhana we have to achieve, we have to improve, then what we have to do? We have to balance our entire life. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says very beautifully, that everything should be balanced. Yukta. In 6th chapter he says, Yukta ahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karma, Yukta swapnava bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. Then that yoga will become fruitful. When there is Yukta ahara and vihara, when there is balance in how much I am eating and how much I am spending my energy. Yukta cheshtasya karma, so how much time I am just sitting down and how much I am acting. Yukta swapnava bodhasya, how much time I am sleeping and how much I am awake. There should be balance. Not that sleeping means now whole time sleeping. Then what will happen? See, in meditation, many times people think that you feel sleepy because you didn't get sleep properly. That's not the only reason. Sometimes if you have overslept, then also you feel sleepy in meditation. You try, you will know. So it is not necessary that you have to have only less sleep, because of which you are getting sleep in meditation. If you sleep more also, you will again feel sleepy in meditation. And therefore, balance is what is required. If we can gain that balance, then this samadhana becomes perfect. Now, think of these 6 qualities as one group. Why? Because that's why Shankaracharya has put them together. See, he could have said, no, instead of Sadhana Chatushtaya, he could have said that Sadhana Navashta. There is a, not Chatu, but there are 9 sadhanas are there. Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dhamma, Uparama. No, he is not counting like that. He said Viveka, Vairagya, then Shamadhi Shat Sampatti is put together. And then Mumukshutva, which we will be seeing now. But why that Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, everything is put together? Because they go together. Number 1, first reason is they are all connected to mind. Number 1. Number 2, they all are about meditation, improving meditation. Number 2. Number 3, you start developing one, the other will automatically get developed. That's the beauty of these 9. You pick anyone, and therefore they are in a group. You pick anyone and you start doing, all other things will automatically start improving. Isn't it? Say, suppose Shama you are improving, that control of mind, on the level of mind you are improving, automatically Dhamma and Uparama will increase, Samadhana will be easy. Suppose Titiksha you are increasing, Shamadhamma will automatically increase. Why? Because Titiksha, you are forbearing, then your mind will not go out. Suppose Samadhanam you are focusing that mind should remain there, automatically mind will be controlled from going to the world. So therefore these 6 qualities are put together. That is the reason. Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadha. Now, this is the third qualification, that we should have these 6 inner wealth. Now we go to the 4th qualification. So Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shat Sampatti, and now comes Mumukshutva, that burning desire for liberation. That is what we are seeing now. Let us see verse number 27. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhanajnana kalpitan swaswarupavabodhena moktumichha mumukshuta. Now again here mumukshuta, mumukshutva, same only. One is feminine word, one is neuter word. Mumukshutvam is neuter gender, mumukshuta is feminine, strilinga. The word is feminine. Means same. What do you mean by mumukshuta? Desiderative. We have been seeing this desiderative. What is the meaning? He is telling moktumichha mumukshuta. Very simple definition. Moktumichha, the desire to get liberated, is called as mumukshuta or is called as mumukshutva. Right? This is the meaning. Now, Moktum ichha mumukshutta, is that sufficient? No, no. Some other things are there. What? Liberation from what? By what? That is answered in the rest of the verse. Let us see. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan moktum ichha mumukshutta. Like that you have to connect. Bandhan, a bondage, from the bondage. From the bondage, what is the bondage? Ahankaradi dehantam. The bondage is the feeling of I that I have starting from ahankara. Ahankara adi. Adi means beginning. Beginning from ahankara. Ahankara means ego. I. This I-ness is ego. Ahankara, the starting from that, dehantan, up to the body. Means what? I have a feeling that this is me. Hey, I came, why didn't you look at me? See, looked at what? Body. So I feel that body is me. My senses are me. My mind is me. My intellect is me. My ego is me. All these which are actually my instruments, I have a feeling that they are me. This is bondage. Bandha. Anatmani atma buddhi jagati satya buddhi bandha. In Vedanta, how do we define bandha? Anatmani atma buddhi. That which is not me, I have a feeling that it is me. And jagati satya buddhi. And in the world, I have a feeling that it is real. This is called as bandha. Here what is said? Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan. Liberation from the bondage of I-ness that I have in all these instruments, starting from ego up to the body. How are they? Ajnana kalpitan. They are imagined by ignorance. Means what? They are not real. See, technically speaking, our body changes every moment. Isn't it? They say in 7 years, most of our cells have changed. Except some brain cells, most of our our cells have changed. Which means what? 7 years, what I was calling as me. And today there is not even one cell in the body which is same. Some brain cells may be same, but body is now completely different. But still, I have feeling of I. A childhood picture you stand, you see this is me. How can this be you? A small baby, so innocent, and look at you, crooked fellow, now grown up. How can this be you? But we have funny feeling that this is me. This is called as bandha. Ajnana kalpitam, this is imagined by ignorance. And therefore, to get rid of this bondage, to get rid of this feeling of I in the not self, is what is called as desire, is called as mumukshutta. So see, ahankaradi dehantan, ajnana kalpitan, bandhan moktum ichha mumukshutta. But how do I want to get liberated? How I want to give up this bondage? Swaswarupa avabodhena. The means are also given. Avabodha means knowledge. Avabodhena, by the knowledge of swaswarupa, of one's own real nature. Who am I actually? If I understand that, then I will clearly get rid of the notion who I am not. I feel that I am this body is a wrong notion because of ignorance. I'll get rid of it when I understand who I am actually. So, there is a desire to get liberated. And the person also understands what is liberation. The liberation is feeling that I am this body, this BMI, the body, mind, intellect is me. This is what is bondage. So, a person wants to get rid of this bondage by knowledge. Such a person is called a mumukshu. See, all the people want to be happy. They are all not called as mumukshu. One who understands that the problem lies within And the main problem is the ignorance of one's own self, and therefore wants to gain knowledge about oneself. One who becomes thus spiritual. Spiritual means what? One who understands that the problem is within and the solution is also within, and therefore stops looking for the solutions outside. That person is called as mumukshu. Careful, everybody wants to get rid of bondage. Everyone is not called as mumukshu. One who understands that the bondage is this ignorance of mine, and therefore way to get rid of this bondage is knowledge of one's own self. And with that knowledge, one who desires to gain liberation is called as mumukshu. Okay, see again, ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena moktum ichha. Desire to liberate oneself, mumukshuta. That is what is called as mumukshuta or mumukshutva. Okay, that is the point. Now you see, earlier also Shankaracharya had used this word in the third verse itself. He said, Durlabham trayamevaitat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshaya. The second quality which is said are very rare and achieved only by the grace of the Lord. Second of that, the three rare things, the second of that is mumukshutva. The desire to gain liberation. Having been born as human being, that desire that I want to get liberated and therefore I want to put efforts to improve myself and to understand my own nature. This desire is very rare. See, only this desire can actually, push us on our journey. Isn't it? Actually, this mumukshutva, don't think that because it comes last, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti and mumukshutva, it is the least important. No, it is the most important. That's why it comes at the end. We say no, last and best. Why? Because that is actually the fuel for my vehicle on the spiritual path. Stronger the desire, faster I will go. Many times when we ask this question that, Vechi, we know spiritual life is important, but sadhana is not happening. One day it happens, one day it does not happen. Why? Because we don't understand the urgency. Gurudev would explain it as, suppose your hair has caught fire. How desperately you want water. That desperation should be there for liberation. Then you will get liberated. At that time, suppose somebody says that, I have sent you WhatsApp message, please check. He said, no water. No WhatsApp, no TV, no nothing else. No food, nothing else. Only water I want. Why? Because your hair is on fire. Do you feel that urgency for liberation? If you feel, then you will get liberated very soon. Stronger the desire, faster will be our progress. That is as simple as that. Then we won't waste time in doing anything else. We think that we still have time. That's why we waste. Isn't it? But when we understand that there is no time, then we become focused. Then we become full, put our heart and efforts only for that. Then liberation becomes possible. So this is called as mumukshutva, not postponing. You can't postpone now. That's why Gurudev will not just, if you read Gurudev's commentary, etc., he will not call it mumukshutva as desire for liberation. He will say burning desire for liberation. Burning desire means which doesn't allow me to sit till I get the result. Siddhartha, Gautam Buddha had that kind of desire. Shariram va patayami, karyam va sadhayami. Either I will achieve what I have started or I will give up the body. There is no third option. Means what? I will attain it. Full stop. Nothing else. That is called as mumukshutva. Now, actually speaking, the 4 qualities are explained. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat, Sampatti and Mumukshutva. All 4 qualities are explained.